Hi friends, my name is Borrodante. Let's paint this guy. So today I had like a free day and I was hanging around and I bought this pencil. I don't know what they call it. They have like thick lid. Oh, there we go. Like I'm showing you the equipment for makeup. So yeah, the thick thing. So I thought it would be kind of cool because it's really comfortable and also you don't lose the ability to tilt the pencil a lot and paint with thick strokes to shade and all. So this is what I tried out on this guy. I worked on values a lot. It's kind of an old sketch actually, but I just finalized it a bit. And all I was thinking about while I was doing that is how much better it would be to work in Photoshop. Well, not exactly true actually, it has its own niceness to it, to work with pencil on paper, but you know, let's render it now. So we're gonna be using the logic from all the tutorials I did on drawing to painting series, but we're gonna be doing it, of course, in more of a new approach that I'm trying to make work recently is the whole scandering and avoiding silhouettes and whatnot. So that's why we're gonna be using this actual, like, kind of finalized, heavily shaded drawing, which would be quite hard to work with if we would go clean and have this sketch in a separate layer and everything. We're not gonna be doing that. We're gonna just use this sketch as a base that we're just gonna be painting forward into awesomeness. So let's color correct this. Let's name him. We need a code name. He or she. It's more like a she, isn't it? I have no idea. It needs to be some kind of folky kind of name, but like something untypical, like from different culture. Maybe even something Japanese. Yeah, let's actually use curves to create gamma, because I don't like those balanced color things. They kind of change color from darkness through middle and to bright spots. And that's not what we need. We need to just create a basic tint and everything. Yeah, let's overexpose it a bit. Yeah, I kind of like it this way. I hate to say it, but she does look like a potato. Oh, okay, yeah. This is gonna be the name. Kartoshka. There we go. Kartoshka means potato in Russian. This is so stupid. I think it works if you don't know what Kartoshka is. Just Kartoshka. Yeah, let's shade in some stuff. I'm gonna colorize some areas the way it would work, I think. So the main thing on her, like this torn piece of clothing, should be like really dark, almost black. So let's just darken it. Yeah, kinda like that. I wonder if I'm gonna be struggling with the whole silhouettes here because the sketch is like super defined. But again, I'm not gonna be upset if we, and we probably will, like lose a lot of details of the sketch and make it differently. Because I feel like the sketch is not exactly perfect in many ways. It's kind of old already, considering how much of a level up been going on lately. Okay, this bottom area shouldn't look like bare skin here, because that would look really gross. So let's say like dark, dirty red. But it should be kind of a bit brighter than the dark cloth. Oh yeah, I think it looks really awesome. Maybe the same color on this thing then, right? It might work pretty cool. So you see, I'm working in multiply mode, but I can paint with one color on top of the other, and they're not multiplying together, only multiplying onto the sketch. That's because there's group that is in multiply mode, and inside of it there are layers in normal mode. So they combine together in normal mode, and then they multiply on top of the sketch as one piece. Quite comfortable. Okay, let's add that skin and the sticks and the bone. I think the bone in here should be the same color as the sticks, because that's also kind of bones, I guess. So the face is just really pale bright. Like really, really pale. Also, I think the face should have a lot of redness to it. Like blush or whatever. Like maybe it's cold or just the way this thing goes. So, bone. And hair. Well, kinda dark, right? Yeah, this is hair holding the bone in front of the eyes. When I was putting some extra details on top, I thought like, this looks kinda like hair, and it will really work well, I think. Okay, so I merged everything together, except for the name, of course. So yeah, let's just start painting on top of this. So I'm adding some kind of like a sunlight from the front top, like from this kind of angle. Oh, also this lace that's holding some kind of bag in the back, I guess, well, it should be kind of bright but dirty bright, so kind of like the bone color, I suppose. So we'll do that in a minute. Alright, the face kinda, I like it. The kind of combination of colors that I end up with. Also, can we play around with the background a bit? I don't feel like we can. Like, this pale, bright color seems to work just fine. Let's make a slight gradient from bottom to top, like, the top should be darker. Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do here. So I'm gonna be using the separate layer to quickly create this perfect gradient in the back. And the blender, of course. Alright, let's erase all of this. So I posted this guy or girl or this Kartoshka on Instagram today, and everybody seemed to like it a lot. Or maybe people just really like the fact that I tried traditional finally. Okay, cool. So what I'm trying to make sure to not lose from the sketch is the high contrast of values. It's not exactly noticeable, especially when you quickly compare to the rendered version, but it's easy to lose that when you're trying to render. I don't know why lately I've been kind of missing out on it. And it's stupid, like you shouldn't, like it's not hard, just pay attention to the contrast. Meaning whenever you're thinking through the colors, the brightness of shadows and everything, when you pick the proper colors to visualize shadows, go really dark, like almost to black, to the air perspective limit of it or something. But really, like right now I showed these really dark shadows on the face next to the bone. And I had to like actually consciously think about making sure that I don't forget to do that. But yeah, a proper full contrast is really important for realism. Otherwise everything will look really flat. So let's add that bone colored rope, starting with a dark pale base. This is like the ambient light color of this rope. Same as everything, by the way. Remember we chose, at first we color corrected everything with curves into kind of darker and colder colors. That's because I wanted to make sure we have like ambient light first, so everything should be a bit colder and paler when it's darker. So this is really a good strategy to work with a sketch like this when it's really finalized. So let's add really dark shadows for the black color. Somewhere like this will be our like air perspective limit. Kinda looks like black at all, which makes sense, it's fine. I had this revelation about working with air perspective recently, and that is, if you're adding the main light source and it's warm or just warmer than the cool ambient light, make sure that all the warm color objects like the skin, the red thing and the bones and the rope, they should become more vibrant as they get brighter. Because that's how colors work. If object is lit only by cold light, it will become darker and paler if the object itself is warm. So it makes sense that when you add just white light on top or warm light, especially warm light, the object will become noticeably more saturated. So that's little thing that you really should pay attention to when you're choosing the changes of color. So the point is that you get, like when you add shadows, like dark shadows to warm objects, You should make them paler and paler, and at a certain point they will really naturally blend into air perspective dark shadow area. And that's really cool. Everything receives this really cool overall effect of air perspective that blends correctly. Okay, now we have to really make sure that we pay proper attention to the values of this round big shape of the torso. We need to really create this cool gradient of a round object being lit from the top. Otherwise it will look really flat, as it does right now. So adding a lot of this kind of thing. So the brightest spot should be kind of like this area. And everything else will get darker. And even here there will be slight gradient. No area should remain completely flat lit, unless it's actually a flat surface. If it's a hard surface object, like a top plane of the box or something. I shouldn't forget to leave some areas in the episode without time-lapse, so you would see what speed I'm working on when I'm actually putting spots on. So I'll probably make that right now. So I'm just adding some spots, whatever I feel like, put them. Any shape, like some kind of hatching sometimes. Doesn't really matter, it's all gonna be covered over with more precise strokes later. Oh, she looks so much cooler when the clothing is actually black. Cool looking. This is why values are so important. So some of the fronts I noticed kinda got a bit upset from all my obsession with like avoiding silhouettes technique and all that. And that's understandable, because this thing is really... First of all, I'm not saying that everybody should do that. Only if you're going for full realism, full color rendering. If you're really trying to push it to the point where it's like, well, kind of, it should look better than any photograph and richer than any photograph. Not more flat and stylized, but like the opposite of it. In that case, you should really consider avoiding silhouettes and all that. But I know many art styles, and they are really awesome art styles, where you really actually work with silhouettes, and it's fine. But again, sometimes, especially when you're building up, like if you're visualizing a character, they should be in 3D space, you know? So for that you kind of have to turn on the 3D vision when you're constructing them, when you're building up the anatomy and all. But after that, yeah, you can work with, you know, like the design of lines and all that. There are certain techniques, like in anime for instance, there's a lot of stuff that just goes with the very specific design of the line. It still does represent volume, but line is never less important. Line is really important. So I understand that, and that's totally cool to follow that. No need to break your comfort zone if you feel like it works for you with your art style to work with lines. You do that. Because giving up on silhouettes is really hard. Everything you do in a painting is gonna be very different. Not the way you used to paint all your life. It's completely different feeling, completely different thinking process. I feel a very strong vibe of combination of Japanese and Russian in here. Like, this is obviously something close to Matryoshka, and also something Japanese horror kind of thing. I kinda like this mixture. I don't know why I lately like creating like stage copies. I guess that's because I stopped working with layers really, and now I use layers just to save stages. I'm pretty sure I'll be using layers if we paint something like really complex. Especially when many characters overlapping each other or something like that when it's hardcore. Although I can also imagine how that can be actually a lot easier painted just in one layer. If you really don't work with silhouettes. No silhouette master race. Oh, let's actually shade this dark red thing. Let's maybe add, there will be a little bit of sunlight cut up on top of it. That's basically it. Everything else should get darker. Okay, so it's really almost time to wrap this up. So let's I want to finish working on values on this one to make sure that shadows are dark enough everywhere and everything else like that. So yeah, let's push the darkness of the black and darkness of the red here to a proper limits. So like from this distance, the picture would look really finalized. That's the main importance, and it should be done on the pretty early stage of rendering. You don't go into any details before it looks finalized like this. By the way, the scarf, the red thing on the head, looks kind of flat. We should make it darker on the sides. Like, it shouldn't be so bright here. The angle is really big. It's like facing away from the main light source a lot. More legit. Cool. Thumbnailing saved the day once again. Okay, these bright spots look weird. There shouldn't be so much brightness. It kinda basically faces away. There shouldn't be any sunlight there, I think. Okay, I kinda like it. Okay, done. 1 hour 29 minutes. From this to this. Kinda cool. I like the result. And it's kinda obvious at this point that potatoes are taking over this channel very rapidly. I mean, there's no competition. Potato is a perfect shape. It's kind of round, slightly oval, so it looks nicer for us because faces are oval. 100% logic. And also, round shape is awesome and perfect. And that's why potato being close to round is perfect. But being actually perfectly round is bad because being perfect in anything is very unreliable, very fragile. Unrealistic beauty standards. And potato is perfect. You can do whatever you want with a potato. It's still gonna be a potato. And that's why potato is awesome. And this is why this Kartoshka is awesome. So yeah, tell me what you think. I hope it was kinda helpful, whatever I said about rendering the sketch. It was kind of a fun experiment. I don't think I ever tried rendering my own sketches from paper. So this is what it turned out to be. You cute so. So yeah, hope you like this. And also, I thank you for watching if you did. I guess you did if you're here. Leave a like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Find your inner Kartoshka. Do whatever you want. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.